Now, what are the inputs we required as a STA tool? If you remember the flow, the slide which we have discussed, like in the front end and the back end flow, which I just given an example, you need a standard cell libraries, .lib files, then the gate level netlist. That means the design which we are talking about, like, okay, how your design looks like, what, how many gates are there, whether it's an AND gate, NAND gate. So we will have a gate level netlist. Now let us suppose when you are doing the timing analysis, you load the library, you load the gate level netlist and all those things, and the lunchtime. So what you can do in place of closing the tool, what you can do, you can save the session, that particular session, and then you can release the license of the tool. So in the company where license is the biggest problem, so what usually happen, let us suppose my company has only the 2 license of Primetime tool. If I am using a Primetime tool, the same one license, no one else can use it. Now it's a lunchtime, I have to go, or if it is a night, I have to go. Then in the US, they want to use that particular Primetime license. Now your work is in a between, then what exactly you're going to do? So you will save it, and that is something we are saying, the save session. You save it, and that is going to create a certain database, and then you can release the license. When next day when you will come, you will just invoke the Primetime, and you can load that particular save session. So all the settings, everything, whatever you have done, it will remain as it is. So that's the reason it is a previous save session. Then you have the SDF. So SDF is a standard delay format. Delay information, we will discuss about this thing, like what will be the format, and at which stage we can write the SDF. So just from the terminology point of view, you should know like what is a SDF. It's a delay format file, standard delay format file. Standard, the reason I'm using a standard, like there is a standard the way you are going to mention delay values. The parasitic file, it is basically the SPEF file. It is more or less interconnect delays. Gate level delay information you can get from the standard cell libraries. For the interconnect, you can use the SDF also, you can use the parasitic files also. Then we have the design constraints. So because we have to met a particular design constraint, so we just load that particular design constraint. Then as a output, so you can see like an arrow, basically we usually get a timing reports and obviously the saved session. So if you will see, like standard cells input, gate level netlist is an input, previous session, then that is considered as an input, SDF is an input, parasitic as an input, design constraint as an input, and this timing report and this save session is the output. These three, like SDF, parasitics and design constraint, basically this is the input and output. So this is something not like, at least for the parasitic, it is not like it is going to generate a SPEF file. There are 2 blocks. You uploaded the SPEF of 2 block into the Primetime session. Now you need a single SPEF. So what exactly it is going to do? It is just concatenate those 2 SPEF or append one SPEF with another SPEF, and it will give you a single SPEF file. So that's the only thing like you can get as a SPEF file. SDF is like in a standard delay format. So what happened, like when you loaded a SPEF file, the parasitic data, tool is going to calculate the delay based on the R and C value. So the parasitic file, basically it has the resistance and the capacitance of a wire. So this file will have a resistance and parasitic of a particular net. So now you have those values. So tool will automatically calculate the delay of that particular net on the basis of delay calculation. Now that particular process, calculation of delay with the help of RNC, is a long process. Means it's a time consuming process. Its memory is going to consume, and usually the timing tool, they usually take a lot of time also. Now what you want to do, like, okay, the calculation is done. Now I know, like, I'm not going to change anything in this particular area. So that means if I'm not going to change anything in this particular area, the delay is not going to change in that particular area, in that particular section of my chip. So what I can instruct my tool, like, okay, in place of doing the calculation again and again, why can't you just write a SDF file for that particular area? So you can understand in this way, like if this is a thing and you are saying, okay, this particular area, I'm not going to change anything. So in place of just to save a time and the energy or the memory of the tool, I can ask the tool like, okay, I need a SDF of this particular section. Now this is a something where I'm going to change it. Change in the sense, if it is a buffer, maybe there is a buffer here, maybe I can convert into the inverter or something like that. So here I'm going to do a lot of routing, optimization, fixing violation, all those things. That means the netlist is going to change in this particular area. If netlist is going to change in this particular area, that means the SPEF is going to change every time. Obviously, SDF is not going to work at that particular thing. But at this particular area where nothing is going to change, we can ask the tool like, okay, write a SDF file, because whatever the calculation you did, that is good enough. Now no need to do the calculation again and again. So till the time we fix all the violation in this particular area, we can use this SDF file. And later on, once this is fixed, we can again just do one round of iteration to check like, okay, if now tool is going to calculate the delay with respect to the RNC of the whole design, then what is going to happen. So that's the role of basically the SDF, just to save time in timing analysis. Now the design constraint. So if you remember, like I mentioned one thing, this is an analysis tool, but sometimes we suggest certain changes to the designer. Now on the designer, like whether they want to use those changes or not. So if that is the case, this design constraint related thing come into the picture. We will suggest, the tool is going to suggest certain things, and then it will tell like, okay, just make these changes in the constraint files also. It will just write certain constraint and it will just give it to you, but it is not like rewriting the whole constraint again. Tool is not going to do that particular part. That's the job or is the responsibility of some other tool at some other stage. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to show you certain snapshots. So detail we are going to talk about, but at least you will get an idea like what is there in a input and an output file.
Like our Facebook page, YouTube channel for more such updates. Thank you for watching. Be expert, buy expert. Best of luck.